I'm Mohsen Jamal and you watch Afghannews. The UN committee that oversees the Taliban blacklist has dropped 14 names that the Afghan government is urging, including 4 members of the Peace Council President Hamid Karzai formed to find a political solution to the country's insurgency. The Afghan government has asked the Sanctions Committee to drop up to 50 former Taliban leaders from its list and provided extensive documentation aimed at showing they since have been reintegrated into society. Removing sanctions against former Taliban, including a travel ban and assets freeze, is seen as key to promoting dialogue. German Ambassador Peter Wittek, who chairs the committee, welcomed Friday's move as recognition of peace efforts by former Taliban leaders. As a part of its decade-long contribution to the reconstruction of Afghanistan, Turkey plans to train some 1,500 Afghan policemen at the Sivas Higher Vocational Police School in central Anatolia. In line with this role, 500 Afghan police cadets have already arrived in the designated training camp in Sivas. After the 6-month training period, the graduates will serve as high-ranking chief officers back in their home country. Turkey accepted the request put forth by NATO in mid-2011 for the training of thousands of Afghan Homeland Security forces. Turkey also made a monetary contribution of $2.5 million, while NATO, Japan and the United States allocated a $5 million fund for the project. Insurgents killed at least 6 Afghan soldiers in an ambush on an army patrol in West Afghanistan, the defense ministry says Saturday. The militants attacked the patrol Friday afternoon in Bala Buluk district of Farah province, said Muhammad Zahir Azimi, a spokesman for the Afghan defense ministry, adding that 6 soldiers were killed and 10 others wounded in the gun battle. Azimi added that 12 militants have been killed in the Afghan military operation, which is still underway in the area. Separately, the US-led military coalition said a NATO service member died in a roadside bombing Saturday in the south and another was killed Friday in an insurgent attack in the west. Several hundred American soldiers left Afghanistan this week, the first group of about 10,000 U.S. troops to be withdrawn from the country by the end of the year. Lieutenant Commander Colette Murphy, a spokeswoman for the NATO-led International Security Assistance Force, confirmed Friday that around 650 U.S. Army troops serving in the northern province of Parwan left for the United States on Wednesday, adding that the soldiers will not be replaced by another unit. U.S. President Barack Obama announced last month that 33,000 American forces would leave Afghanistan by September of 2012. The remainder of the 100,000 U.S. troops serving in Afghanistan is expected to return home by the end of 2014, when Afghan forces are supposed to take full responsibility for their country's security. The United States has joined 30 other nations in formally recognizing Libya's main opposition group as the country's legitimate government until a new interim authority is created. Friday's decision will potentially free up money that the rebels fighting the Libyan leaders' forces urgently need. The final statement by the so-called contact group on Libya, meeting in the Turkish city of Istanbul, said the Gaddafi regime no longer has any legitimate authority in Libya and Gaddafi and certain members of his family must go. The group said it would deal with the National Transitional Council as the legitimate governing authority in Libya until an interim authority is in place. Meanwhile, in an audio speech to thousands of supporters in the town of Bulliten, Gaddafi rejected the contact group's decision on Libyan television. China has urged the United States to cancel a planned meeting between President Barack Obama and the Dalai Lama, saying such a meeting would be harmful to U.S.-China relations. In a statement on Saturday, Hong Lai, a Chinese foreign ministry spokesperson, called on the United States to cancel the decision for Obama to meet the Dalai Lama as soon as possible and not do anything that could interfere with China's internal affairs or harm China-U.S. relations. But the White House made an announcement later on Friday that Obama will welcome the spiritual leader on Saturday and pledge support for human rights in Tibet. The International Campaign for Tibet, which works closely with the Dalai Lama, held the White House's decision for a meeting and said that Tibetans were facing a pervasive security crackdown from China. A bomb attached to a port car exploded in central Karbala, the Iraqi Shiite city located southwest of the capital Baghdad, killing one person, officials said. 27 others were injured in the attack that occurred on Saturday morning. Sources at Karbala General Hospital said the blast was the third attack in the last 2 days on Karbala's Shiite pilgrims headed to the city's Imam Hussein shrine to observe the birth of Imam Muhammad Mahdi. The anniversary has become one of the annual pilgrimages that show a strength for Iraq's majority Shiites since the fall of Saddam Hussein in 2003. As many as 27 protesters have been killed across Syria after security forces reportedly shot at protesters, hundreds of thousands of whom took to the streets in the biggest protest so far against Bashar al-Assad's rule. Police fired live ammunition and tear gas in the capital Damascus, killing 5 people, and in the southern Syria near the Jordanian border, where 4 people were killed, witnesses and activists said. The 3 protesters were shot dead in the northern city of Idlib, they said. In the city of Hama, scene of a 1982 massacre by the military, live video footage by residents showed a huge crowd in the main Orantos Square shouting the people want the overthrow of the regime. At least 350,000 people demonstrated in the eastern province of Deir al-Zor, a tribal city in the eastern desert. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, an independent rights group based in London, said. Indonesia's Mount Lokon spewed more hot lava and toxic ash into the sky early on Saturday in 2 pre-dawn eruptions. The alert level for the volcano on Sulawesi Island was raised to the highest level earlier this week following a spike in seismic activities. Sorono, head of the Indonesia Center for Volcanology and Geological Hazard Mitigation, said that Mount Lokon erupted again at 2:45 a.m. local time, and the second eruption was at 5:50 a.m. local time, which spewed smoke more than 800 meters into the sky. Authorities have expanded the danger zone to 4 kilometers from the crater. More than 4,500 people have been evacuated to 9 shelters. Indonesia has 130 active volcanoes, the highest of any country, sitting on a belt of intense seismic activity known as the Pacific Ring of Fire. And that at least 7 prisoners have been killed and 59 others escaped following a prison riot in the Mexican town of Nuevo Laredo on the border with the United States, officials have said. Soldiers surrounded the Sanctions Enforcement Center prison following a breakout that came after an early morning riot. The Tamaulipas state government said in a statement on Saturday. The government of Tamaulipas state says 5 prison guards abandoned their posts during the fight. Of the 59 who fled, 35 were being held on federal charges, which include drug trafficking and belonging to armed gangs, the official said. Friday's breakout is still dwarfed by a jailbreak in December when 151 inmates escaped from the same site. And that's all for now. Thanks for joining us.